The sky above Laurian 6 was a swirling mass of gray clouds and flashing light. Once, this planet had been a shining jewel among the human colonies, a world of vast green forests, deep blue oceans, and cities that stretched across the horizon. But now, the storm had torn through the surface like a furious beast, leaving silence where once there was life. Broken structures lay scattered, their metal frames twisted, glass shattered, and dust rising like smoke from an invisible fire. Among the wreckage, a single human struggled. Evan Hale, a young scientist who had been stationed on Laurian 6, crawled through the debris with scraped hands and bleeding arms. His suit had been torn in several places, leaving him exposed to the harsh, cold wind that cut across the empty streets. His eyes, wide with pain and exhaustion, searched for anything that could provide shelter. Everything he had known, his friends, his research, his home, was gone. Evan's breathing was ragged. Each inhale a struggle against the storm's lingering energy. He stumbled into what had once been a research dome. Its dome-shaped roof had collapsed, leaving jagged beams hanging above him like the ribs of some enormous creature. Inside, consoles lay smashed. Data screens flickered with static, and the air was thick with dust. Evan fell to his knees, gripping a half-destroyed terminal, trying to push himself upright. He whispered to himself, I can't be the only one left. I won't be alone." But the truth pressed heavily against him. For days, he had searched the ruins, calling for survivors, but all he heard was silence. Then, as he pressed a trembling hand against his forehead, a faint vibration echoed through the ground beneath him. At first, he thought it was just his imagination. Then the vibration came again, slightly stronger this time. Evan froze. It was not natural. The vibrations were deliberate. Someone, or something, was out there. Far above the planet, in the dark void of space, a ship moved silently. Its hull shimmered in the dim light of the dying sun, reflecting hues of silver and blue. This was the Starwind, a sleek cruiser belonging to the Sarathi order, a race of tall, silver-skinned women known across the galaxy for their wisdom, skill, and dedication to peace. Inside the command deck, Commander Saren stood with her arms crossed, her sharp violet eyes scanning the monitors. Her crew of elite Sarathi warriors worked in silence, monitoring the surface below. The Starwind had been patrolling the Laurian 6 sector when their sensors picked up something unusual, a faint life signal buried beneath the debris of the storm. "Commander," one of her lieutenants spoke, "we have a life sign. It is human." Saren raised an eyebrow. Humans were a young and unpredictable species. Most of the colonies had already been lost in the storm. "Show me," she said. The screen displayed a small flickering signal amid the ruined landscape. It pulsed weakly but distinctly, a human biosign. Saren's expression softened slightly. "Prepare a retrieval team," she commanded. "I want that human alive, if possible. Move carefully." Minutes later, the retrieval team descended in their sleek hovercraft, the soft hum of its engines cutting through the eerie silence. Saren led them personally, her armor reflecting the dull light of the storm-ravaged planet. The team moved with precision, scanning the ruins for the source of the signal. Finally, they found him. Evan was huddled beneath a beam, coughing and shivering. His eyes widened when he saw the towering figures of the Sarathi women approaching. He expected fear, maybe even violence. But the aliens did not attack. Instead, they extended their hands in calm gestures, speaking in a melodic language he could not understand. One of them stepped forward. Her voice, when she spoke, was soft but commanding. "Do not fear. We are here to help." Evan hesitated, disbelief etched across his face. Slowly, he allowed her to lift him from the rubble. Every movement was careful. He was too weak to resist. Once he was aboard their hovercraft, the engines lifted them into the sky, leaving the ruined world below. Inside the Starwind, Evan was tended to by the Sarathi healers. Their hands glowed faintly with energy as they worked, mending his cuts and restoring his strength. He marveled at their skill, unable to hide his amazement. You saved me," he said finally, his voice hoarse. One of the healers tilted her head. "Your survival is unusual," she said in careful English, which the ship's translator allowed him to understand. "Most humans cannot endure the storm alone." Evan nodded slowly. He had always thought humans were fragile, that he was lucky to survive. But being here, seeing these beings, he felt something else, hope. I need to tell someone what happened," he said. "The storm, it wasn't natural." The healer's eyes narrowed slightly. "Explain." Evan recounted the events as best as he could remember, the sudden flashes of energy, the unnatural patterns in the storm, and the moment he had seen strange machines among the clouds. The Sarathi exchanged looks of concern. Commander Saren entered, her expression unreadable. "You believe it was deliberate?" she said. Evan nodded. "Yes, someone did this. Someone wanted Laurian 6 gone." Saren's eyes softened, but her voice remained firm. "Then you will help us understand. Humans may be fragile, but they are also clever. Your knowledge could prove valuable." For the first time since the storm, Evan felt a sense of purpose. He was no longer alone. Not only had he survived the worst the universe could throw at him, but now he had allies, strong and intelligent allies. Days passed as the Starwind traveled through orbit, evading the storm's residual energy fields. Evan learned more about the Sarathi and their mission. He discovered that they were guardians of peace, traveling from system to prevent conflict and protect weaker civilizations. Their society was matriarchal, but not oppressive. They valued skill, intelligence, and courage above all. In return, the Sarathi were fascinated by Evan's adaptability. Humans, they discovered, could survive conditions that would disable almost any other species. His ability to endure, to think quickly, and to adapt to alien technology impressed them. One evening, as the stars stretched endlessly beyond the cruiser's viewports, Commander Saren approached him. "You have survived when others could not," she said. "That is why I will trust you. But understand this, our journey is not yet safe. There are forces at work, and your knowledge may be key to stopping them." Evan looked out at the galaxy, feeling a mix of fear and excitement. He had survived the storm, but now a new journey awaited, a journey that would take him beyond the known reaches of space, alongside beings he could barely understand. And for the first time in a long while, he felt ready. The Starwind's engines hummed softly, carrying them away from Laurian 6, toward the unknown. The storm was behind them, but the mystery of who had caused it and why was only beginning to unfold. And somewhere deep within him, Evan realized that survival was no longer enough. Now, he had a chance to make a difference. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and Evan Hale, once a lone survivor, prepared to step into a larger universe. The Starwind glided silently through the quiet darkness of space, leaving Laurian 6 behind. The planet, now little more than a scar on the galaxy, shrank in the viewports as the cruiser moved deeper into the void. Inside the ship, Evan Hale sat quietly, wrapped in a soft blanket provided by the Sarathi healers. His wounds had healed quickly, faster than he would have imagined, thanks to the aliens' advanced technology. Yet, the ache of exhaustion and the memories of the storm lingered. The Sarathi were curious creatures, tall, with silver-blue skin that shimmered faintly under the soft lights of the cruiser. Their presence was both calming and intimidating. Their faces were elegant, with high cheekbones and luminous eyes that seemed to see more than what appeared on the surface. Though their language was melodic and complex, the ship's translator allowed Evan to communicate easily. He was learning quickly, picking up phrases and gestures that made the crew nod in appreciation. Evan had noticed something remarkable. Unlike most species he had encountered in his simulations and research, humans could interact with Sarathi technology in ways other species could not. Consoles that normally required the precise biometrics of a Sarathi operator accepted Evan's human input. Small systems responded to his touch, almost as if the ship recognized his determination and adaptability. One morning, Evan was in the engineering bay, marveling at the hum of the ship's systems, when Commander Saren entered. Her presence was commanding, yet not unkind. "Evan," she began, You have survived much. That is not by chance. It seems humans are more capable than many give them credit for. Evan shrugged, embarrassed. I try to figure things out. I think fast when I have to. Saren's violet eyes held his gaze. Your thinking may save lives. And right now, it could save more than just your own. Curiosity sparkled in Evan's mind. What do you mean? Saren gestured to a nearby console. On the screen, energy patterns flickered a chaotic storm signature. But one that was very precise. The storm on Laurian 6, she said, was not natural. We suspected sabotage, but your testimony confirms it. Someone engineered it deliberately. Evan's heart thumped in his chest. I knew it, he said. It wasn't just a storm. Something made it happen. I saw strange machines in the clouds. Machines that moved and reacted. I didn't get a close look, but they were controlling the storm somehow. The Sarathi exchanged glances, their expressions hard to read. Saren nodded slowly. Then you are more than a survivor. You are a witness. And that makes you valuable to us. Evan felt a mix of pride and unease. Valuable? He repeated. Yes, Saren said, stepping closer. We need to know who did this, and why. And we need someone who can understand both human and alien technology. That someone is you. Over the next several days, Evan worked with the Sarathi crew. He learned to navigate the ship's controls, manipulate its sensors, and analyze data that would have been impossible for any human on Earth to comprehend alone. The aliens watched with admiration. It was unusual for a human to adapt so quickly, and they began to rely on his instincts in situations where the machines alone were insufficient. One evening, as the Starwind passed through a quiet sector, a soft alarm echoed through the command deck. Red lights flashed, indicating an incoming signal. Saren approached the console. A coded transmission, she said. It is faint, but distinct. It originates near the storm's origin point on Laurian 6. Evan leaned over the console, examining the signal. This looks like something I recorded, he said, his voice trembling with a mix of excitement and fear. Before the storm hit, my instruments picked up patterns like this. It's a signal, not random energy. Someone sent it deliberately. Saren's eyes narrowed. Then we are not looking for survivors alone. We are looking for the source. The crew prepared for a journey back toward the remnants of the storm. The Starwind navigated carefully through regions of ionized debris, where sensors often failed and gravitational fluctuations made movement difficult. Evan's human instincts proved invaluable. While the Sarathi relied on machines and precise calculations, Evan could sense safe paths, recognize subtle signs of danger, and anticipate shifts in the unstable environment. During this time, Evan also began to bond with the crew. He learned about Sarathi culture, their history as peacekeepers, and their unique abilities. They shared stories of other species and distant worlds, and in return, Evan told them about humanity's ingenuity and stubbornness. Slowly, respect grew on both sides. The aliens were impressed by his courage and adaptability, while Evan marveled at their discipline, intelligence, and sense of purpose. Finally, the Starwind reached the edge of what the crew called the storm's echo, a vast zone of residual energy and floating debris left by the catastrophic storm. The air outside was filled with dangerous ionized particles, and the ship's shields flickered under the strain. This is where it started, Saren said, her voice calm but serious. Be alert. The energy here is unpredictable. Evan studied the chaotic patterns on the monitors. I see traces of something else, he said slowly. Structures. Machinery. Someone left this here intentionally. It's not random. Saren's lips pressed together. Then we have confirmation. The storm was engineered, and the remnants of this technology are still active. As they moved deeper into the storm's echo, Evan noticed faint shapes among the debris. He pointed to them. They look like machines, some kind of automated platforms. I think they might still be operational. Saren activated a scanning beam. The shapes became clearer, tall, metallic platforms with glowing panels. They moved subtly, as if monitoring the ship's presence. These are not Sarathi, Saren said quietly. Nor human, another species, one that wants to harm your kind. Evan swallowed hard. Who would do this? Saren's expression darkened. The Varrock Dominion. They are known for destroying colonies to expand their territory. They must have engineered the storm to wipe out Laurian 6 before humans could defend it. Fear and determination surged through Evan. He had survived the storm, but now he realized the danger had not ended. Then we have to stop them, he said. The crew worked together, navigating through the floating wreckage while avoiding the Varrock devices. Evan used his knowledge of human engineering to predict patterns in the machine's movements, guiding the Sarathi team safely through zones where the sensors failed. The aliens began to see that humans were not just survivors, they were adaptable, resourceful, and brave. Finally, they discovered a central platform at the heart of the storm's remnants. It was larger than the others, and radiated energy that interfered with all nearby systems. Evan studied the schematics and realized that this platform could trigger another storm if left unchecked. We can't let it activate, he said urgently. It could destroy more colonies. Saren nodded. Then we will neutralize it. Together, Evan and a strike team of Sarathi warriors prepared to board the platform. The alien women moved with grace and precision, while Evan followed closely, relying on his instincts and quick thinking. They fought through security drones and energy barriers, with Evan using human ingenuity to bypass certain mechanisms the Sarathi could not manipulate. Finally, they reached the control core. Evan examined the panels, recognizing a sequence that could disable the platform. I can shut it down, he said, but I'll need guidance to avoid triggering the fail-safes. Saren placed a hand on his shoulder. You have earned our trust. Do it. With careful hands, Evan followed the steps, his heart pounding. Energy crackled around them, but his focus never wavered. Slowly, the platform powered down. Lights dimmed. The humming stopped, and a wave of relief passed through the team. The immediate threat was over, but Saren's expression remained serious. This is only the beginning, she said. The platform reveals a larger plan. Someone wants to strike at humanity on a wider scale. Evan realized the truth of her words. He had survived one storm, but now he faced a much greater challenge. And yet, as he looked at the Sarathi crew, strong, disciplined, and wise, he felt ready. Together, they could face what was coming. For the first time since the storm, Evan smiled. He was no longer just a survivor. He was part of a team. Part of something larger. Something that could make a real difference. The star wind set its course away from the storm's echo, carrying with it knowledge, determination, and the first hope of turning human fragility into human strength. The journey was far from over. But Evan knew one thing. Humanity had allies. And together, they could face the darkness ahead. The star wind moved steadily toward the coordinates revealed by the disabled Varrock platform. The sector ahead was dangerous, an area the Sarathi called the storm's echo, where residual energy from the engineered storms lingered. Floating debris drifted through the region, some charged with dangerous electrical pulses. The star wind's shields glimmered faintly under the strain, absorbing every crackle of energy the environment threw at them. Evan Hale stood at the command deck, his hands gripping the railing. He had spent days learning the ship's systems, adapting to alien technology, and understanding the Sarathi's protocols. Yet, nothing had prepared him for this. The vast emptiness of space, the dangerous debris fields, and the knowledge that somewhere out there, the Varrock Dominion waited, ready to strike again. Commander Saren approached him, her presence calm but firm. Evan, she said, you have performed well. But now we face the source of the threat. Prepare yourself. Evan swallowed hard. I'm ready, he said. Though a part of him still trembled, Saren nodded. Good. Human intuition and Sarathi technology together We will succeed. As they entered the storm's echo, the Starwind's sensors began to pick up faint signatures, structures partially hidden by debris and energy distortions. Evan leaned over the console, studying them. These are not natural formations, he said. They're machines, or platforms, built for something big. Some of them are active. The crew tensed. Saren's eyes narrowed. The Varick Dominion is not merely observing. They are preparing for something. Likely, another storm to strike human colonies. Evan felt a surge of urgency. Then we have to stop them before it happens. If we fail, more colonies will be destroyed. Saren's expression softened. Then let's not fail. The Starwind maneuvered carefully through the debris, following Evan's observations. His human instincts allowed them to avoid areas that even the Sarathi sensors could not fully analyze. Small energy pulses from the Varick platforms occasionally lit the dark void, warning them of hidden dangers. Every movement had to be precise. One mistake could damage the Starwind, or worse. Finally, they approached a massive central platform, far larger than any of the others. Its panels glowed with a sinister red light, and the energy readings were far higher than anything they had encountered. "This is it," Saren said. "The hub. The source of their control." Evan studied the schematics on the monitor. "It's connected to the other platforms," he said. "If we disable this one, the others may shut down too. But it's heavily defended. We'll need a strike team." Saren nodded. "You will come with us. Your knowledge is vital." The strike team prepared for boarding. The Sarathi warriors donned their sleek armor, their weapons humming with energy. Evan secured himself, relying on his training over the past days. The hovercraft detached from the Starwind, gliding silently toward the central platform. As they approached, security drones emerged from hidden compartments. Evan noticed their movement patterns and quickly relayed instructions to the Sarathi. "Move left, then shift up when they flash." His quick observations allowed the team to evade multiple attacks without a single injury. Saren raised an eyebrow. "You are impressive for a human." Evan shrugged, focusing on the task. "I survive. That's my skill." I survive. Inside the central platform, energy corridors pulsed with red light. The team moved with caution, aware that the platform could be programmed to self-destruct if tampered with. Evan examined a control panel. It was complex, a mix of Varick technology and human-like logic patterns. "I think I can disable it," he said. "But I'll need guidance from the Sarathi interface. Their systems will prevent me from triggering a failsafe." Saren placed a hand on his shoulder. "Do what you must. We trust you." Evan connected to the interface, his hands moving over alien controls that glowed under his touch. Slowly, the platform's systems began to shut down, one by one. Energy pulses faded, and the hum of machinery quieted. But then, alarms blared. A secondary system activated a defense mechanism designed to protect the platform from intruders. Drones swarmed the team, and energy barriers flickered into place. Evan's heart pounded. "They're not done yet. We need to move fast." With precision, the Sarathi warriors engaged the drones, their movements swift and calculated. Evan worked on the control panel, rerouting energy to disable the barriers. His human ingenuity, combined with the Sarathi technology, allowed them to neutralize the threat faster than expected. Finally, the platform powered down completely. A sense of relief washed over the team. "It's done," Evan said, breathing heavily. Saren studied the platform's systems. "We have neutralized the immediate threat," she said. "But this reveals a larger plan. The Varick Dominion is targeting humanity on a much greater scale." Evan's stomach tightened. "You mean, this was just the beginning?" Saren nodded. "Yes. They intend to destroy more colonies, spread fear, and claim territory. If we do not act quickly, humans will lose more than just Laurian 6. The Starwind returned to a safe distance with Evan and the Sarathi team. They analyzed the data recovered from the central platform. The information revealed the Varak Dominion's plans, a network of storm-generating platforms, each capable of devastating entire planets. Laurian 6 had been the first target, but many others were marked. Evan studied the schematics. "There's a way to stop all of them," he said slowly. "If we can send a deactivation signal from this platform, it might reach the others. But it will require precision. One mistake, and the system could lock down, or even trigger another storm." Saren's eyes gleamed with determination. "Then we do it, together." Over the next several hours, Evan worked with the Sarathi engineers to prepare the deactivation sequence. His knowledge of human engineering, combined with the Sarathi's technology, allowed them to map the Varak network. Evan inputted coordinates, timing sequences, and energy adjustments. Every step had to be perfect. As the sequence progressed, energy readings spiked unpredictably. Evan's hands moved faster, his mind calculating each possibility. "Almost there," he whispered. "Just a few more adjustments." Saren watched closely. "You have the patience and skill to do this. Do not rush. The lives of countless humans depend on you." Evan took a deep breath and made the final adjustments. With a soft hum, the platform transmitted the deactivation signal. Slowly, the energy pulses across the storm's echo began to fade. The floating debris stabilized, and the dangerous anomalies disappeared. The immediate threat of the Varak Dominion's storm network was neutralized. After the deactivation, Evan sat quietly on the platform, exhausted but relieved. He looked at the Sarathi team, their expressions calm but proud. "We did it," he said softly. Saren nodded. "Yes, humanity has survived once more. And not just by chance. You played a crucial role." Evan smiled, feeling a sense of pride he had not known before. He had survived the storm, navigated the dangers of the Varak network, and contributed to a victory that would save countless lives. He realized, for the first time, that humans were not just survivors. They were problem solvers, adaptable, and capable of extraordinary courage. As the Starwind prepared to leave the storm's echo, Evan looked out at the dark expanse of space. The journey was far from over. The Varak Dominion was still out there, plotting their next move. But Evan no longer felt like a lone human facing impossible odds. He had allies, powerful, disciplined, and intelligent allies. Together, they could face whatever challenges awaited. Saren placed a hand on his shoulder again. "Evan Hale," she said, "you have proven that humans are worthy partners. The galaxy is wide, and dangers are many. But with courage and determination, we can protect those who cannot protect themselves." Evan nodded, determination in his eyes. "Then let's make sure no one else suffers what Laurian 6 did." The Starwind set its course toward the next frontier, carrying knowledge, strength, and hope. Humanity had faced the storm and survived. Now, alongside the Sarathi, they had a chance to shape the future. Not just for themselves, but for all who depended on courage, intelligence, and unity in the face of danger. Evan realized, finally, that survival was only the first step. The next step was action, and he was ready. The Starwind glided silently through space, leaving the remnants of the storm's echo behind. Inside the ship, Evan Hale stood beside Commander Saren on the observation deck. The data they had recovered from the central Varak platform was staggering. A network of storm-generating installations stretched across several sectors, each one capable of annihilating entire human colonies. Laurian 6 had been only the beginning. Saren's violet eyes scanned the starfield beyond. The Varak Dominion planned to eliminate humanity's frontier presence. If we do not act quickly, the same destruction will fall upon other colonies. We cannot allow it. Evan swallowed hard, feeling the weight of responsibility. Then, we need to stop them. All of them. But how? Saren turned to him, her expression calm yet determined. "With what you discovered here, Evan, You know their systems better than anyone. We can send a universal deactivation signal, but it will require precision, speed, and coordination. Evan nodded. Then let's do it. The Starwind moved toward the coordinates of the largest Varrock storm hub, the source that controlled the rest of the network. The ship's shields glowed faintly as it navigated past debris fields and residual energy currents left by previous storms. Every pulse of energy was a reminder of the destruction the Varrock could unleash if they failed. Inside the command deck, the Sarathi engineers prepared the systems to transmit the deactivation signal. Evan stood over them, inputting the final sequences. His hands moved quickly but carefully, translating human logic into the alien interface. This will work, he said confidently. If we execute it correctly, the entire network will shut down simultaneously. No storms, no attacks, nothing. Saren placed a hand on his shoulder. You have done what many could not even imagine. Humanity survives because of your courage and intelligence. Now, finish the task. As the Starwind approached the hub, alarms blared. Varrock drones emerged from hidden bays, attacking the cruiser with relentless precision. The Sarathi warriors moved to defend the ship, their weapons glowing with focused energy. Evan observed the drone patterns and quickly recognized a weakness. They're following a predictable path, he shouted. If we angle the shields and fire in sequence, we can take out the first wave. Saren nodded, and the crew executed his plan. The Starwind's weapons struck in perfect coordination with shield deflections, disabling the drones without sustaining serious damage. Evan's human intuition had saved the team again. The landing bay opened near the hub, and a small strike team prepared to board the control platform. Saren led them, with Evan following closely. The Varrock had prepared for an attack, setting energy barriers and defense drones to protect the hub. But Evan's understanding of the system allowed the team to navigate with minimal resistance. Inside the control chamber, the hub's core pulsed with energy. The room was filled with alien technology, glowing panels, moving conduits, and humming energy generators. Evan approached the main console, analyzing the interface. This is it, he said. If I input the sequence correctly, it will disable the entire network. Saren placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. We believe in you, Evan. Humanity and Sarathi together. You are our link. Evan's fingers moved across the controls, entering the deactivation sequence. Lights flashed, energy surged, and the hum of the hub reached a deafening pitch. He held his breath, focusing on the calculations, adjusting the timing, and synchronizing with the Starwind's systems. Suddenly, an alarm blared. The Varrock had triggered a defensive override, attempting to prevent the sequence. Energy barriers rose, and drones swarmed the chamber. Evan's heart raced. We have to finish now, he shouted. If I pause, the network could reset. The Sarathi warriors engaged the drones, moving with unmatched speed and precision. Evan ignored the chaos, focusing entirely on the console. Sweat dripped down his face, and his hands moved faster than ever before. He recalculated a sequence, bypassing the override while keeping the core stable. With a final keystroke, the hub shuddered. Energy pulsed through the conduits, and then, silence. The lights dimmed, the hum stopped, and the room became calm. It's done, Evan whispered, relief flooding through him. Saren exhaled, a rare smile crossing her face. You have done what many could not. Humanity is safe for now. Back aboard the Starwind, the crew watched the data stream in. The deactivation signal had reached every storm-generating platform. Energy readings across the sectors dropped to 0. The threat of the Varrock Dominion's engineered storms was neutralized. Evan felt a wave of pride. He had survived Laurian 6, worked with the Sarathi, and now helped save countless human colonies. He realized, fully, the importance of unity between species. Humanity, once fragile in the galaxy, had proven itself capable of extraordinary courage and ingenuity. Saren approached him again. You have shown the galaxy that humans are not merely survivors. You are thinkers, problem solvers, and allies. I am proud to fight alongside you. Also, Evan smiled. I didn't do it alone. None of us did. You and your people. You taught me that together, we can do more than we ever imagined. The Starwind set a course for human space, carrying the knowledge and technology necessary to protect other colonies. Evan stood at the observation deck, watching the stars stretch across the endless void. He thought about Laurian 6, the storm, and the lives lost, and realized that humanity now had allies who would help them defend what they had built. Saren joined him, her eyes reflecting the starlight. There will always be challenges, she said softly. But with courage, intelligence, and cooperation, there is nothing humanity cannot face. Evan nodded. Then we'll face them, together. The cruiser moved on, leaving the threat behind but carrying hope forward. The Varak Dominion had been stopped. For now. But the galaxy was vast, and new challenges would arise. Evan understood this, and yet he felt ready. Not as a lone survivor, but as a part of a team, as a symbol of human resilience. In the days that followed, the Starwind transmitted the knowledge of the Varak network to human colonies across several systems. They warned of possible dangers and shared protocols for defense. Evan worked tirelessly with the Sarathi engineers, teaching humans how to adapt to alien technology and preparing them for the future. Colonies, once isolated and vulnerable, now had a chance to defend themselves. Humanity was no longer fragile in the eyes of the galaxy. They were resourceful, intelligent, and brave, and they had allies who believed in them. Evan looked out at the stars once more. He thought of the Sarathi, the human survivors, and the countless lives that depended on their actions. He felt hope, not just for himself, but for all of humanity. The journey had been dangerous, terrifying, and uncertain. Yet, through every challenge, Evan had learned something vital. Survival alone was not enough. Humans had to act, to unite, and to demonstrate their strength. And in doing so, they could shape their destiny among the stars. Saren placed a hand on his shoulder one final time. You have changed the course of history, Evan Hale. Remember this. Humans are more than capable. Your courage has shown it. Evan smiled. I will remember. And we will keep proving it. Together, as the Starwind sailed toward the next frontier, Evan felt a sense of purpose stronger than he had ever known. Humanity had survived the storm, faced the Varak Dominion, and emerged stronger than before. The galaxy was wide, full of dangers and wonders alike, but Evan and his allies were ready. For the first time, he understood what it meant to be more than a survivor. He was a human, capable, determined, and unbroken. And alongside the Sarathi, he knew that humanity could face anything the universe dared to throw at them. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, shining like beacons of hope. And Evan Hale, once a lone survivor, stepped boldly into the future, ready to protect humanity and fight for the survival of countless worlds.